Robertson emptied the dumpster behind the Galactic Embassy at 4 in the morning, same as he did every Tuesday. The pay was decent, the hours were quiet, and nobody bothered the night janitor. Perfect for a guy who just wanted to pay his bills and be left alone. He almost missed it, a faint chirping sound from inside the compactor. Robert hit the emergency stop and climbed in, pushing aside bags of recycling and food waste. There, wedged between two boxes, was an egg. Not a chicken egg. This thing was the size of a basketball, scales instead of shell, and it was cracked open. Inside, a tiny creature, no bigger than a kitten, shivered violently. Its scales were deep crimson, wings translucent and fragile. Reptilian, definitely. Some kind of alien. It was also dying. Oh, hell no. Robert pulled off his jacket and wrapped the creature carefully. It was freezing hypothermic. He could feel its little heart racing against his chest as he ran for the embassy's emergency entrance. The night receptionist, aboard the Cien, barely looked up. Service entrance is... I found something in the trash. It's dying. I need a xenobiologist. Now. Something in Robert's voice made the Cien actually look. Her 4 eyes widened. By the void. Is that a Draconis hatchling? I don't know what it is. Can you help it or not? 10 minutes later, Robert stood in a medical bay watching a team of specialists work frantically. The hatchling. They confirmed it was Draconis, a species Robert had never heard of, was severely hypothermic and malnourished. Someone had thrown it away like garbage. Will it live? Robert asked. The lead physician, a Quilarian named Dr. Sek, looked grim. Maybe, if it survives the next hour. Draconis hatchlings imprint on the first being they perceive as a caregiver. Without that bond, even if we save its body, it will fade. What does imprint mean? It means Dr. Sek stopped as the hatchling's eyes opened. They were molten gold, ancient and aware in a way. That made Robert's breath catch. The creature looked directly at him and chirped, a sound like crystal bells. Then it spoke, the words forming directly in Robert's mind. Father who saved. Emperor of my sky. Oh no, Dr. Sek whispered. It imprinted on the human. Is that bad? Robert asked, still reeling from hearing a voice in his head. Bad? Human. Do you know what the Draconis are? Some kind of space lizard? They're dragons. Sentient, incredibly long-lived, and their species has a rigid hierarchy based on bond ties. That hatchling just declared you its emperor, the highest possible bond. Every adult Draconis connected to that bloodline is now honor-bound to acknowledge your authority. Robert stared at the tiny creature, now climbing up his shirt. You're joking. I wish I were. Whose bloodline is this hatchling from? A technician checked the genetic markers and went pale. Dr. Sek, this is a royal hatchling. House of Crimson Sky, one of the 7 ruling houses. The door exploded inward. A being that barely fit through the frame ducked inside. 15 feet of scales, wings, and muscle. A dragon in humanoid form, barely containing its true size. Its eyes blazed with rage and grief. Where's my son? The dragon's voice shook the walls. Dr. Sek pointed at Robert. The dragon's gaze locked onto the hatchling nestled against Robert's chest, then to Robert himself. The rage vanished, replaced by something like awe. The dragon dropped to one knee, wings spread wide. Honored Emperor, you saved my son. I'm not an emperor. I'm a janitor. I found him in the trash. The dragon's rage returned, but not directed at Robert. Someone threw my son away. Someone will burn for this. Lord Casimir, Dr. Sek interjected. Your son imprinted on this human. By law. I know the law. Casimir's eyes never left Robert. My son chose you as emperor. The bond is sacred. But I must ask, will you honor it? Will you accept guardianship of a Draconis hatchling? It is no small thing. He will need decades of care, protection, guidance. And every enemy of House Crimson Sky will see you as a target. Robert looked down at the tiny dragon, who chirped happily and curled against his chest. He thought about his empty apartment, his quiet life, his deliberate isolation since the divorce. What's his name? He hasn't chosen one yet. That's the Emperor's privilege. Okay, how about Ember? The hatchling's eyes brightened. Ember. Yes. This one is Ember. Emperor named me. Casimir's expression softened. Then it settled. Ember of House Crimson Sky, son of Casimir, bonded to Emperor Robert Shun of Earth. I really need to emphasize that I'm not. The medical bay doors opened again. 7 more dragons entered, each massive, each ancient, each dropping to one knee before Robert. The 7 houses come to pledge to the new emperor, the lead dragon intoned. Human who saved our child, your compassion has bound us. We are yours to command. Robert looked at Dr. Sek helplessly. The physician just shrugged, quills rattling with suppressed laughter. Congratulations. You're a dragon emperor now. Ember chirped again, nuzzling Robert's chin. Best emperor. Saved Ember from the cold. Saved Ember from the dark. Robert sighed, gently stroking the hatchling's scales. I just wanted a quiet job. Dragons are many things, Casimir said, a smile in his voice. But we are never quiet. Great, Robert muttered. But he didn't put Ember down. The little dragon had already fallen asleep against his heart, finally warm, finally safe. And if that made Robert an emperor, well, he'd been called worse.